Chuck Norris, Osama bin Laden, and Gandhi are all on this day. Welcome back to another On This Day video. Today is March 10th. It is the 80th day of winter. There are 10 days left until spring. If this is your birthday, congratulations. Like me, you're a Pisces. Today is Mario Day. Mario Day celebrates and honors the success of the famous Nintendo character, Mario. The character's first appearance was on Donkey Kong arcade game in 1981. The ones in the arcade that we used to have to put quarters in, that one. The success was immediate and over 60,000 machines were sold at the time. After that, Mario replaced Donkey Kong as the symbol of Nintendo and became a success that it is today. Mario's success is celebrated every year on March 10th, a reference to the character's name. The MAR10 kind of looks like Mario. Get it? Okay, so that's why they have it on today. Alright, besides celebrating a digital plumber, what else happened on March 10th? 1804, the Louisiana Purchase. In St. Louis, Missouri, a formal ceremony is conducted to transfer ownership of the territory. Spain officially completed turning over part of the New Spain colonial territory to France, who then officially turned over the same lands to the United States. Now, I really oversimplified the whole thing just now. But basically, the New Spain territory, colonial territory, was Mexico and this big swatch up the middle of what present-day United States is, from Canadian border to New Orleans. We basically got that from them. The ceremony in St. Louis cleared the way for Lewis and Clark to begin their exploration. Most people would consider this to be like the deal of the century. Sort of really worked out for us. 1876, the first successful telephone call is made by Alexander Graham Bell. And now, most of us hate getting calls most of the time. I pick up my cell phone these days when someone calls and say, hey, text it to me, I'm too busy to talk, and hang up the phone. Hate people calling me. 1922, Mahatma Gandhi is arrested in India. He's tried for sedition and sentenced to 6 years in prison, only to be released after nearly 2 years for appendicitis operation. 1933, the 6.4 magnitude Long Beach earthquake affects the greater Los Angeles area, leaving 115 to 120 people dead. They're really not sure. And causes an estimated $40 million in damage. That's back then. That, these days, equals to about $800 million. The earthquake prompts the government to play an active role in the disaster relief. The government created the Reconstruction Finance Corporation, providing loans for reconstruction of buildings that were affected during the natural disaster. One of my great uncles was a teenager when this happened. He lived near Long Beach. He told me that him and his friend were in a park and they could see the sidewalk and the ground like waves. Like it had waves in it, to the point where it knocked them off their feet and they were holding on to the grass, he said. 1945, World War II, the United States Army Air Force firebombs Tokyo, resulting in more than 100,000 people killed, mostly civilians. There's been a long-running debate over the morality of this. The March 10th firebombing of Tokyo was like kind of over the line. Most historians and commentators argue that it was not acceptable for the U.S. Air Force or the United States military to deliberately target civilians. Now, this wasn't the first time we did this. A month earlier, we firebombed Dresden, Germany for 2 days. The same thing. Tons of civilians killed. There was hardly any military targets there. 1977, astronomers discover the rings of Uranus. You know, I know I'm a 50-year-old man. Whenever I see the word Uranus, all these jokes that I knew from the 7th grade just want to come out. I gotta stop. Anyway, the first mentioning of the Uranian ring system comes from William Herschel's notes detailing his observation of Uranus in the 18th century. Jesus, Jim, get it together. Which include the following passage. On February 22nd, 1789, a ring was suspected. Herschel drew a small diagram of the ring and noted a little inclined to red, it said. Anyway, a telescope in Hawaii confirmed the case later on. Jesus, Uranus. 2017, the impeachment of President Park of South Korea is in response to a major political scandal is unanimously upheld by the country's constitutional court, ending her presidency. 2019, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302, a Boeing 737 MAX, crashes, leading to all the 737 MAX aircraft being grounded worldwide. The flight crashed 6 minutes after takeoff, killing all 157 people on board. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. The Boeing 737 MAX airliner, which began service in 2017, was involved in 2 fatal accidents. The Lion Air Flight 610 in October of 2018. And this one, that resulted from a malfunction in the aircraft's new automated control features. I don't know the whole thing about it, I just briefly went over it. But apparently, if the autopilot thought the plane was going down, even if it wasn't, it started making adjustments, and the pilots, for some reason, couldn't override that. So if it thought, it's pointing straight down the ground and it thinks it's flying fine, it keeps going that way, they couldn't override it or something. It was weird. But yeah, that's put Boeing in some bad shape now. I hope they pull out of it. That's a big employer up here in the Pacific Northwest. Born on March 10th, 1920, Alfred Peet, Dutch-American businessman, founder of Peet's Coffee and Tea. Alfred Peet grew up in the Netherlands, and in 1966, Peet opened the first Peet's Coffee, Tea, and Spices in Berkeley, California. Peet wanted to bring coffee to the American market and became known as the godfather of gourmet coffee in the U.S. 1928, James Earl Ray, American criminalist, assassin of Martin Luther King, was born in Alton, Illinois. Ray was convicted on his 41st birthday after entering a guilty plea to forego a jury trial, and subsequently was sentenced to 99 years in prison for murdering King. 1940, Chuck Norris is born, American actor, producer, martial artist, and living meme. We went to the same guy to learn jiu-jitsu in Redondo Beach, California. His name's Rigan Machado. Now, obviously, Chuck Norris knew all kinds of karate, but he wanted to get into the grappling, so he started going to Rigan. I used to see him every once in a while at this place. Sort of shocked me at first. He's a little bit shorter than me, and I'm only 5'9". I always thought the guy was like 6'2". He's a badass. He's supposed to be big. No, he's a little guy. 1958, Sharon Stone, American actress and producer. I don't care if she is 62 and a little bit crazy. I still think she's beautiful. Died on March 10th, 1865, Aimee Spain, American slave, is executed from stealing from her owner, believed to have been the last legal execution of a female slave in America. They think she was about 17 at the time of her death. 1988, Andy Gibb, Australian singer, songwriter, and actor. We just talked about him the other day on births. He died 5 days after his 30th birthday. Sad. 2012, Frank Sherwood Rowland, American chemist and academic, Nobel Prize laureate. His research on atmospheric chemistry and chemical kinetics. He's best known for the discovery of carbons that contribute to the ozone depletion. He died at age 84 due to complications from Parkinson's disease. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.